don't know about you guys, but this is the first time in a couple of weeks I actually had to take a layer off coming into the sanctuary. And I also made mention, too, when I was doing that, I was like, I hope my shirt's appropriate. That's what the base is for, thank you. My name is John Moody. I am your music director. Today I am joined by the ever-witty Elizabeth Kelly on piano. We have Carolyn Keeble and her collection of fine oddities and drum things. Brian Bay is joining us today on song leading. And I hope you're ready. I know you all came to church, but Nathan Moore is going to take you back twice.
Hey, come on.
So, if you are able, please stand as we go through our congregational songs.
This is the day the Lord has made, Unity of Kalamazoo. Good morning. My name is Beth Odekirk, and I am your platform assistant for today. We welcome everyone who is here with us in person this morning, everyone tuning in to our live stream, and everyone who will view this service on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already done so, please invite your phone into the silence so we can be fully present to each other during our time together this morning. Got to give some shout outs. Thank you to our volunteers. We offer thanks and gratitude to everyone who has made this service possible today. Our ushers, PowerPoint, hospitality, bookstore, and script sales upstairs, and of course, our musicians and our sound and streaming tech team. We could not do this without you, and we greatly appreciate the expertise and energy you bring to each and every service. Welcome also to our first-time attendees. We want to extend a special welcome to anyone who is joining us for the first time. We would love to know how you found us, what brought you here today, and most importantly, what we can do to support you on your journey. If you are willing to share that with us, or if you would like to stay in touch, you will find a card like, let's say this one, in your pew pocket. Wait, got it. Here it is. And if you fill this out and give it to one of our ushers as you leave, then we will be able to reach out and connect with you. Announcements today. Today we have our very own much-loved Judy Pilot, who is going to give her talk on Live Your Life on Purpose. Then we also still have the Power of Now discussion group going on Thursdays from 10 to 11:30, hosted by Jack Woltman. Raise your hand if you've been going to that. Anyone in here? Okay, cool. So we've got some folks that are attending. That's wonderful. And then on the February the 23rd, we have Reverend Brett Kuhn doing a talk on staying present. Whew, that's a silver bullet, isn't it? So that will be a very good talk. The best of talks. Okay, and then Bob Weir will be joining us on March the 2nd to talk on radical honesty, creating and growing healthy relations. We have an upcoming Unity and Community event. We are going to do dinner at Jack Chicola's Wednesday, February the 26th, 6:30. This is the location on Westnedge. I just signed up. So raise your hand if you plan to sign up. Look around. Awesome. We will have a great turnout if you do. I'm also going to sneak in before the weather closing slide that I heard of a fun social opportunity today. Yes, don't we need fun social opportunities right now? Yes, we do. So, quick late-breaking news that Carolyn and Grace Tyson and band will be making fabulous music today at the Plainwell Library at 2 o'clock. Dose o'clock. So show up if you are just inside and freezing like the rest of us. Maybe we'll go out and do something. Speaking of being frozen, if we have a weather closing, it will scroll on the TV, Channel 3 News, so you can check that for updates if you see some impending tricky weather. Okay, we would like to now ground ourselves in the beliefs that we hold dear here at Unity of Kalamazoo. Please join me in affirming our mission and vision statements and our core values. Our mission, as an all-inclusive community, we awaken to spirit, grow into our souls, and build a better world. Our vision, we celebrate a world of ever-awakening consciousness, abundance, peace, and love for all. And our values here, all being equal: love, authenticity, stewardship, oneness, playfulness. And now please join me in declaring our land and labor acknowledgement. Our spiritual community acknowledges Black, Indigenous, and people of color whose lands and labor were forcibly taken. We pledge to promote understanding, equity, justice, and inclusivity. Let's also acknowledge the children of our future here with us this morning and those in our community with this blessing. As you go your way, know that you are loved, special, and important to us.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, grateful for the heat, yes? Yes. Much more better good when we have it this way. So, we begin this time of prayer and reflection together with a reading from the Daily Word. And the Daily Word for today is world peace. The peace I wish to see in the world begins in my own heart. To call upon the peace within me and bring it into the world, I use my spiritual gift of love to feel in harmony with all others. I use my power of imagination to envision the world filled with peace. And through my gift of will, I choose peaceful responses no matter the circumstance. I envision God's healing, loving power enfolding the earth and all its people. As I claim this spiritual vision, my heart is lifted, and it's easier for me to perpetuate peace. The notion that others are holding the same vision of a peaceful world encourages and comforts me. I pray that our shared goal of peace on earth touches every heart and mind in every corner of the globe. And from Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3, those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because they trust in you. And so today's affirmation is, I hold a vision of a peaceful world. And I'll say that once more, then invite you to join me again for the third time. I hold a vision of a peaceful world. Together, I hold a vision of a peaceful world. And as we embrace that thought of holding that vision for peace, peace in our families, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, into our nation, and indeed a vision of peace for the entire world. We know that there is meaning in living our life at this higher vibration. We know that the 12 powers we possess all resonate with those higher frequencies and shift us from worries and concerns into purpose and action and celebration and embracing each other because we see God in each other. We are all expressions of that divine intelligence, that divine wisdom and love. And standing firm in that realization that we are indeed all expressions of God moves us to that higher plane of consciousness and allows us to see a world of possibilities and potential. We must consciously choose the lens through which we view the world, through which we view ourselves. We must constantly and wisely choose the lens through which we view our ability to make good decisions, to take meaningful action, and to make a difference in this world, however small. It is the cumulative power of those small expressions, the things that may go unnoticed by most of the world, but in fact mean the world to the recipient of that smile you give, that heartfelt greeting. That warm question of concern. How's your day? Even if we don't engage at all, if we simply move through the store and send silent blessings to at least one person on every aisle, we make a difference. We lift our hearts and minds and consciousness. We increase our vibration. And we move the world forward toward that vision, that shared awakening, that shared spiritual consciousness that is the only thing that will truly change the world. And so, as we prepare to move into a few moments of silence, I invite you now simply to breathe in a breath of peace and breathe out any sense of separation. Breathe in a breath of joy. Breathe out any concerns. Breathe in a breath of love and wisdom, and know that we are made for these times. We are all here on the planet for a reason. And breathe out any sense of confusion or chaos, because we all have a purpose here. We are here for a reason. And we take that knowing, we take that assurance now into a few moments of silence. I invite you now to gently return your focus and your attention to this place. And let us close this time in prayer together by envisioning God's healing, loving power enfolding the earth and all of its people. And as we claim this spiritual vision together, our hearts are lifted, and we know that together we stand for peace and we stand for justice. Amen. And so it is, and so we let it be.
All right. I got to tell you a word or two about this beautiful human, one of my dearly beloveds, Mr. Nathan Moore. It is very challenging to get him in this place with us, or he would be here much more often. So you may remember him from probably 2 years ago now already. So in acknowledgement of and paying tribute and homage to Black History Month, we wanted to bring in one of our great voices that carries this tradition in the Kalamazoo community and beyond. This young, mighty one here. Over the last few years, Nathan and I have been working together. We came together to do Kalamazoo Pride a couple of summers back, and then from there we launched into a recording project, which was Nathan's biggest growth edge to date, moving from being a singer of other people's songs to being the embodiment and the bringer of his own voice and songs to the forward. So I really wanted to encourage him to do one of his original songs today, also in tribute to the month of love and the weekend, Valentine's Day, and acknowledging how love abides through thick and thin, and it is really the thing that will carry us forward. Nathan's work at the Fetzer Institute here in Kalamazoo is deeply seated in this mission of love, and he is part of the spiritual care team there as well. So we're so very happy to have you with us.
Thank you. Carolyn called me young. I can pack it up and go home now. Thank you very much. This whole album would not have been possible without Carolyn. I'm so grateful for her as a friend. I'm so grateful for you being here to sort of do all the amazing things that you're doing. I wrote this song as part of a grieving ritual that we did with our staff community at the Fetzer Institute. The song is called Love Abides, and I used to say that it was a song about grieving because I lost my mother and my grandfather and my uncle all in the same month in 2020. It was a lot of loss, but I now say that this song is actually about love and gratitude more than that, and the enduring nature of love that persists through everything and that makes all things possible. So as you listen to it, I hope you get that. Thank you for walking me home. You were the love of my life. I know our time has run out.
were just finishing up their rehearsal when I walked into the sanctuary this morning, and when he finished the second song that you haven't heard yet, I said, "Can we keep you?" And so we're going to keep him in our hearts. I guarantee you that. We won't be able to see him that much, but we're going to keep him in our hearts because this is good stuff. Thank you. You are such a blessing. Thank you. So, good morning again. And I'd like to just open it up, the talk today, by sharing with you what is the absolute core belief of my ministry, which also happens to be the core belief of my life. And it's this: I am a creation of the sacred, intimately and eternally linked to the sacred, and forever graced and embraced by the sacred. I believe that you are a creation of the sacred, and in fact, we are all creations of the sacred, intimately and eternally linked, forever graced and embraced. I read that statement for the very first time, probably now about 10 years ago. And the moment I saw it, I read it again out loud. And I knew that my heart had always felt that way for as long as I could remember. I didn't have a name for it. I didn't have words for it. But I had always felt that way in my heart of hearts. And I have been sustained by that belief throughout my entire life. The words that I just shared with you were written by Dr. Roger Walsh in a book that's called Essential Spirituality. And his book describes 7 universal spiritual practices that have been created from many different traditions and spiritual practices and beliefs and cultures all around the world. Spiritual practices designed to cultivate kindness, love, joy, peace, vision, wisdom, and generosity. These essential spiritual practices that are based on universally known and accepted core values are part of something that the scholars call the perennial philosophy. The word perennial means lasting or enduring. And of course, then, the word philosophy is the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence. So, as described by Walsh, the perennial philosophy is a treasure house of humankind's accumulated wisdom. It is vast in scope, profound in its depth, and it offers countless insights into the nature of life and love, health and happiness, suffering and salvation. One of the most important aspects of this perennial philosophy, these profound insights into life that have endured across centuries and cultures, is its foundational belief that realizing and living from our spiritual nature is the highest goal and singular purpose of our existence. Let me repeat that because I think it's important. Realizing and living from our spiritual nature is the highest goal and singular purpose of our existence. It's the reason we're here. Most days, I am fully aligned with that singular purpose and living from my belief that I am forever graced and embraced by the sacred. However, I do waver from time to time. And human nature is very quick to jump into the driver's seat and create chaos. You know, and when I feel this happening, I can see it kind of slipping away. You know, I immediately have a vision of mayhem. You know, the Allstate guy. Just, you know, So earlier this week, I took my car in for a short list of what I believe to be mostly routine maintenance items. And several calls and texts and photos later, the photos, became clear that the root cause of some alignment concerns was going to cost way more than I had expected. No, seriously, I'm talking way more. So, my human nature pushed back and pushed back hard. You know, human nature is never content to just be. So it immediately starts jumping up and down, running around in circles, demanding answers to a whole string of questions like, when did this happen? Why did this happen? Who can we blame for this? What are we going to do about this? How are we going to pay for this? And on it goes. You know, picture your favorite meme of hair on fire. That was me for about 37 to 40 minutes on Wednesday afternoon. My point in sharing this with you, though, is to illustrate that living life through the lens of human nature can be a path that takes us down one rabbit hole after another as we seek to find all of the answers to all of the questions and to identify all of the whys and all of the wherefores behind everything that happens and everything that could happen. You know, we're not content to leave it alone to just what is happening. No, we got to go after what could happen or what might happen. It can be an exhausting experience. And it doesn't bring us any doesn't bring us any peace of mind at the end of the day. More importantly, it doesn't take us one step closer to accomplishing our singular purpose. Right? So when it comes to the topic of what is my purpose here on the planet, from a human perspective, those questions can be overwhelming. Sometimes they're even paralyzing to people at certain times. And I say this from my own personal experience and from my many, many years as a career coach working with people of all ages. And going back to Wayne Dyer's book, which I've been talking about a little bit on and off since the beginning of the year, his book about the power of intention, he tells us to forget all of those questions about what we're supposed to be doing. And his advice is to move into a place of faith and trust in the divine wisdom and intelligence of the universe, and to lean into that universal mind of intention, remembering that you came from this mind and that you're always connected to it. And if you remember from previous conversations, he has invited us to think about intention as a field of energy, right? Not willpower, not necessarily goal setting and all of those self-help things that all of us have read and purchased the books and the tapes and all of that other stuff. No, he invites us to think about it as a field of energy, remembering that we came from this field of energy and we're always connected to it. So he suggests that in being of service to others, we can't help but feel like we're living life on purpose. And there are two concepts embedded in that statement that I want to explore with you this morning. The first concept is this idea of being of service. And the second concept is living life on purpose, which I believe is a little different than living life with purpose. So let's go to that first idea. From my perspective, being of service to others is an idea that is almost always defined much too narrowly, right? We hear the words being of service, and we tend to think, Mother Teresa, living in poverty, making sacrifices, and minimal, if any, creature comforts. And I got to tell you that my personal experience with being of service has been and is quite a bit different. My first job out of college, which is something that frankly I pretty much fell into, was working with General Motors, and I was hired as an analyst who was responsible for monitoring the usage and the distribution of equipment that was used to ship component parts from the manufacturing plants to the assembly plants. So at that time, General Motors probably made 90+% of the parts that went into a given vehicle, and they needed a way to get those parts from manufacturing facilities to the assembly plants. And they had all sorts of equipment that they used to put stuff in. I kept track of that stuff. And I gotta tell you, there was nothing, absolutely nothing altruistic or noble or compassionate about that job or the work that I performed. It just wasn't. And I had such a hard time explaining it to people. I remember when I was out to dinner with friends one time, we stopped at a traffic light, and there was a big semi-trailer in front of us, and the back of it was open. And inside of it were these humongous metal racks that they used to ship hoods. You know, the hood of your car? They used to stack those hoods in those big metal racks and then ship them from the stamping plant to the assembly plant. I said, you see those things in there? That's what I do. I keep track of those. And they went like, wow. Putting you on the prayer list, sister. So, a year or two into my employment, I got a new assignment, kind of, as a variation of my existing job. But I was assigned to a team who was designing a totally new computer program to support these operations. So our goal was to make it easier for the people in the field to provide all of the inventory control information that we needed to avoid shutting down the plants. And I got to tell you that this one assignment led me to an entire career that was focused on analyzing workflows and finding ways to make work easier, to make work safer, and to make work more efficient for the people who were doing the work. Even my work as a career coach was focused on reducing the amount of time the amount of stress, the amount of effort associated with finding meaningful new work or deciding upon an alternative career. And I'd like to think every now and then that my work as a minister helps people to live with less fear and less struggle, and to hopefully experience more joy, more love, and more abundance. So when Dyer talks about being of service to others, I believe he is encouraging us to find a way to make things better for other people. So when we put that into context and apply it to the work that we do, whether that work is paid or unpaid or volunteer work, doesn't matter. When we use the talents and the abilities that we have to do things that come easily to us, to make life easier for people who are challenged by some of those things that come easily to us, we are being of service. I have a solid, and I mean solid understanding of systems, procedures, numbers, and spreadsheets. But I hate doing my taxes. And this coming Tuesday, in my car, which is running smoothly now, I am going to bless, big time bless, the tax preparer that is being of service to me. So, do you see why it's important not to get hung up on the job title, and all that it's about? Being of service, making life easier for other people. Regarding the difference between living on purpose versus living with purpose, from my perspective, I guess I just see this as the difference between being internally driven versus externally motivated. So the words with purpose kind of suggest to me that there's some sort of goal or specific destination in mind, perhaps some sort of yardstick against, that we're measuring ourselves against, whether that be, a certain promotion by a certain time or a certain amount of money or whatever that may be. But it kind of suggests to me that it's an out there kind of a thing that we're paying attention to versus that inside thing, which is about being of service. And I've said it before, goals are not a bad thing. They can provide order and structure and a framework that moves us forward in a very, very helpful way. But I also think that they can distract us sometimes from the big picture, okay? And many of us have entered into that stage of our lives in which our focus has shifted from the roles that we played in our chosen career to focus a bit more on our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And perhaps more than ever, now it's imperative that we live our lives on purpose and pay close attention to how we're showing up in the world and how we're showing up for ourselves. Living on purpose, living life on purpose, means living from the truth of our spiritual nature, living from that place of faith and trust in the divine wisdom and intelligence of the universe. It means leaning into that universal mind of intention, remembering that we came from that mind and that we're always connected to it. We are all creations of the sacred, intimately and eternally linked to the sacred. And when we know that and live from that, we are graced and embraced by the sacred because we are living life on purpose. God bless you. And have an amazing week.
Greetings. I am Barbara Galati, member of your board. And if you would please join me in our board affirmation for February. I embody divine wisdom. And as the ushers come forward, please prepare your tithes and love offerings and join me in the offertory blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Where did that singer go? Hey.
People keep on learning. Soldiers keep on warring. World keep on turning. 'Cause it won't be too long. Oh no. Powers keep on lying. Why your people keep on dying. World keep on turning. 'Cause it won't be too long. Oh no. I'm so darn glad he let me try it again. It's my last time on earth, I leave the whole world again. I'm so glad that I know more than I understand. Gonna keep on trying till I reach my highest ground. Alright. Teachers keep on teaching. Preachers keep on preaching. World keep on turning. 'Cause it won't be too long. Oh no. Lovers keep on loving. Believers keep on believing. Sleepers just keep on sleeping. 'Cause it won't be too long. Oh no. I'm so darn glad he let me try it again. It's my last time on earth, I leave the whole world the same. I'm so glad that I know more than I understand. Gonna keep on trying till I reach my higher ground. Till I reach my highest ground. Alright. Don't you let nobody bring you down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Till I reach my highest ground. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you for taking us to church and bringing us home, Nathan. How many people felt a little shift in their soul on that one? Absolutely. And as the ushers have come forward, let us pray. Sweet Spirit, thank you for these gifts given today and those we receive throughout the week. Inspire us to use them wisely to strengthen and support our spiritual community, the unity movement, and to lovingly and creatively support the community beyond these walls. We offer our prayers for comfort, peace of mind, and strength for everyone who is feeling uncertain or uneasy about the future of our nation, and for those who struggle each and every day to live with dignity and freedom. We pray for those everywhere who are challenged to rebuild their lives in the wake of devastating wars, climate-related catastrophes, and for those who are unhoused and dealing with food insecurity. Strengthen us to continue to live our lives on purpose, to stand for what is right and good, and comfort us if we grow weary of the disrespect, the intolerance, and fear-based policies. Remind us to affirm that divine order is always present, even in the chaos. Amen. And as we bring our service to a close, I invite you to please stand and join me in affirming the prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And if you are comfortable doing so, you may hold hands with your neighbor as we sing the peace song, or just place your hand on your heart and connect within.